Welcome. This is David Bowles, Human Meme. Today's topic: about the dark times. In the dark times, will there also be singing? Yes, there will also be singing about the dark times. Bertolt Brecht, 1939. Well, my human meme friend, if there's one thing, the rise of the risk of novel coronavirus, COVID-19, is that it is science that saves us, and it is science that leads us. Science, throughout the ages, has always lifted us up and defied the deities from which some believe all things flow, but not when that flow disturbs the resonance of faith by space and time. And for all that hubris against the wrath of nature and the imagined retribution of the vengeful God, men and women have been punished and killed for their belief in the truth of facts over the meager emblems of faith. Not faith of fact, but imagination by duplication. And why is this? Why do people place their faith and their safety in the unimagined and the imaginable, when the scientific proof standing before them can outmaneuver and outminister any argument against wrath from the heavens for not thinking the right way? Aye, religion is one thing, one fact. There is no dispute, there is no opposite opinion. Conversation and debate are not necessary from the pew. To doubt is to be cast away. You believe as we believe, or you get out. People prefer to believe in what protects them. People prefer stories to hard realities. The song will always begat the melody. The phantom lives in the unredacted text. Sacrifice is made for showing your belief and not for those who work with machines. You may not love yourself, but sometimes the love of others has to be enough. And in this very human divide, a divide between the divine that separates us from animals and flora and machines, and wars are fought and families are lost, and the world caves in as it is eaten alive by the never-ending war between the scientific method and blind faith, one tail eating the other. Science is malleable. It could be this. It might just be that. We have to look into it and do some tests. We'll figure it out through knowledge sharing and intellectual rigorousness. And then together we shall wonder again tomorrow if we ever got it right in the first place. And it is that very satisfaction in exploration that gives us the gumption to move on and to explore the next new wonder, instead of just preserving what we already know, and to print only what we care to believe, and not what we are required to question as the protectors of moral duty. I am reminded of the story of a young boy, freezing and lost in the woods. And the boy refuses to watch his step in the moss as he lifts his eyes to the heavens to ask God for salvation. And then, just then, as he cries out to the heavens, he trips over a rock, falls into the lake, and drowns. It has always fascinated me that science is willing to make room for faith in the process. But the true believers cannot bear to give science any credit for helping define the unknown. When the world is in trouble, at war, battling a pandemic, we see a great revolution in the scientific community to step forward and to solve the problem, while many of those in the purest faith prefer instead to pray and send thoughts. In the eye of the pandemic, out of an abundance of caution, becomes the new thoughts and prayers. And in that eternal battle between knowing and believing, we must confess, only one of them can truly be the salvation of humankind. Two facts can contradict each other, but there is only one truth, a singular truth that cannot be twisted, in the end, for personal revenge or political agenda. In 1862, Emily Dickinson wrote this about the dichotomy between faith and the natural world. The world is not conclusion. A species stands beyond, invisible as music, but positive as sound. It beckons and it baffles. Philosophy don't know. And through a riddle, at the last, sagacity must go. To guess it puzzles scholars. To gain it, men have borne contempt of generations. And crucifixion shown, faith slips and laughs and rallies, blushes, if any see, plucks at a twig of evidence, and asks avain the way. Much gesture from the pulpit, strong hallelujahs roll. Narcotics cannot still the tooth that nibbles at the soul. Faith and darkness combined. And now, my friend, we turn to a Galileo Galilei speech written by Bertolt Brecht in his fine play, Life of Galileo, published in 1939. I know they call a donkey a horse when they're selling, and a horse a donkey when they're buying. That's their cunning. But the old woman with calloused hands, who gives her mule an extra bunch of hay the night before setting out on a trip, the sea captain who allows for storms and doldrums when he lays in his stores, the child who puts on his cap when he realizes that it may rain. These people are my hope. They accept the law of cause and effect. Yes, I believe in the gentle force of reason. In the long run, no one can resist it. Nobody can watch me drop a pebble and say, it doesn't fall. Nobody can do that. The seduction of proof is too strong. Most people will succumb to it, and in time they all will. Thinking is one of the greatest pleasures of the human race. And now, my human meme friend, we close our circles, and I leave you where we started, lost in the light of perpetual shadow.
In the dark times, will there also be singing? Yes, there will also be singing about the dark times.
Thank you for listening. Be a human meme.